In today's video I have something that I don't normally touch, which is a computer. This is what I saw this for sale for like $15 in a junk shop. Had no idea what it was. It looks like I'll put a couple of screws. I have looked at it before, so I must have dropped a couple, and I did clean it up a bit. It was absolutely disgusting on top, and the keyboard was full of hairs and dust. Many years of muck. Almost looked like I'd been kept next to a dog's bed or something in the shed. But yeah, that's it. When I originally looked at it, all you could do was lift this top bit up, and you could see these membrane keys in here. I actually thought it might be some sort of computer game or something, and I had no idea what it actually was. All in a sort of masonite case. I think that's a bit of masonite. That bit's even got some green paint on it, so it's probably a bit of someone's old house or something. Recycled. And what I didn't realise until I cleaned it, it's actually got ZX81 in pink pen on there. Might have been red originally. And it says something else. No idea what that says. Oh, does it say Sinclair? Maybe it does. Sinclair. It could say Sinclair. I wonder if it says Sinclair ZX81. Anyway, that's what it is. It's a Sinclair ZX81. And I have had it out and had a look. We'll take the lid back off this, see what a homemade job this is. But I reckon that's probably a Dick Smith keyboard, because they did sell one with no circuit board on the back and no ASCII coding chip or anything like that. It's just you can wire each key individually. I think that's what this one was from memory. It's just all separately wired, though they must have put it into some sort of rows and columns, I think, for the original computer. So there it is, Sinclair ZX81. I've loosened off the metal bracket that held it. It's just got this, I think it's the remains of the original power supply, and of course we're wired to the keyboard here. That's just some bits I put in there, so it's like they've taken it out of the power pack box or whatever and just got it floating around. Bit dodgy with 240 volts like that, but that's what they did. We've got a couple of connections for, I think, external tape deck that they've put to a socket on the back. We've got a video out. There was a mains cord in there. I think I got rid of that because it was all filthy, or it was cut off, one or the other, reset switch or something. And yeah, I've never seen one of these in my life before. I think that's just the power into the computer from that power pack here. That's it. Of course I'd heard of them, but most of us here in Australia use like VIC 20s, Commodore 64s, BBC Model B at school, and I don't know anyone that actually owned one of these when I was a kid. My father originally bought an MC10, I think, Tandy, which was a little tiny thing, but it actually had proper keys, not these membrane ones. And yeah, of course, Commodore 64 had a proper keyboard, so someone's modified. Supposedly these were an absolute horrible thing to use, and I bet they were. And so people, whoever owned this one, obviously modified it. They obviously liked the computer enough that they modified it with a proper ASCII type keyboard, full-sized one. But the beauty about these things is they were super cheap, so they got a lot of people into computing that otherwise probably couldn't have made it. I think the Commodore 64 was quite a bit more expensive than these, but at least these are a good entry-level computer for a lot of people. And that's the inside of it. And what I did actually pull this board out, and this is the reason it reminded me to look at this. And someone had folded the original keyboard connectors up, just bent them over, and when I tried to straighten it out to get it back in the connector, the old plastic's gone very brittle and this piece just snapped clean off. And I did have one on my watch list on eBay from Europe, which I think was around $50–60, 30 something plus post or something. And I thought one day I'll get round to getting one of those. And yeah, today I was looking on there at something else, and they had one locally for $29, I think, that you can actually get from Australia. I'll have to put some on the screen to show who the seller is on eBay. And they just offered, I put it on my watch list, and they just offered it for $27 or something. So I thought I'd better make sure this was a ZX81. I couldn't remember 100% if it was an 81 or an 80, but it is an 81. which I think is year 1981. So I'll get a new keyboard for it, I think. I might try and put it back to original. The other thing I did find with this, I don't know if it is, oh yeah, see, model number ZX81 USA, so it's supposedly a much rarer version, made in England, no use of serviceable parts, use only Sinclair approved AC adapter. I don't know if that was a Sinclair approved AC adapter, but it might have been one originally before they took the case off it. Maybe they used some other broken power adapter or got one from somewhere. Don't know why you'd take it out of the case unless it was so big it wouldn't fit in here. Yeah, channel 3.4, but this, because it's an American one, it's NTSC, which was as far as I got with it before. I did start doing a video on it, but it didn't work out very well because of the amount of messing around I was doing. So I've basically decided to abandon that one, though I did keep it because I had some trouble working out which ones of these keys did certain functions, and I had no idea because originally I was trying to get the video. I put an RCA socket on there. The other thing I found out is there is a little circuit online somewhere of how to add a transistor and stuff, so I might just copy that because the video out of it was fairly poor quality. RF I could not tune in at all. It's got an RF modulator, just a video, one no sound. Couldn't get that to come up on an Australian TV even with NTSC, but I did have a Sony portable with NTSC and I did get the picture out of it, and of course at first I didn't even realise I had a picture because these are inverted video. Basically they're, is it white characters on a black background? No, it's the other way around. I think it's black characters on a white background. So when I was looking at the video signal and stuff, I thought, what on earth am I looking at here? But it turns out, yeah, eventually I did turn up the brightness and stuff on the TV and did manage to get something out of it, and did a simple, you know, basic program of, you know, 10 print something or other and 20 go to 10, and got that to come up on the screen. So I got that far, but there's some certain keys here which I can't remember. Maybe it was a function key, something that they're just random keys on here. I had trouble finding them, so I did keep a video, so I'll have to look at that again and see if I can remember what key was connected to what. I guess I'll get a bigger screwdriver. And it does have a memory expansion module in it too. I think it's a bunch of Hitachi 6116 chips all soldered together or something. So someone, because what were these original? I can't remember what they had. Very little memory in them. Oh, there it is. So I think they have actually written on some of these escape shift lock. So it's just, I'll have to look in the Dick Smith catalogue, see if it seems the same, but it looks like they've added their own piece of paper with labels so they knew what they're wiring to. But it looks like, yeah, they've done the old row and column thing. That almost looks bent to the point it's touching the other one. So they use the shift key, CRFF, yeah, I think it's those two blank keys. I couldn't work out how to do something, I think, and it's got a weird way of, I think you type the text in, and instead of, I think you type in the text on the bottom of the screen or something, and it goes to the top as you enter it. It's some weird, nothing like a Commodore 64 or anything, so it was a bit of messing around when I first looked at this thing because I had no idea anything about them at all. And they are a little odd compared to using like a normal BBC Model B, Commodore 64, VIC-20, Atari, etc. All the computers that were much more common. Even a Dick Smith VZ200, 300, I think the 200 had these membrane keys on it. I did buy one off a school friend once. It wasn't working years ago, and I don't think I ever managed to get it going, so threw it out in the end, I think. I'll have a quick look. As it must be that Phillips screw there, I think. And yeah, I think it's an expansion port or something out the back there. And that's the, it looks like I plugged part of the keyboard in. Yeah, that's the, I thought it was actually chips stuck on top of each other, but they've actually done quite a good job. One's a 6116, HM6116 from Hitachi. The rest are MB8416s. Oh, that's where it's sort of wired onto it. Someone stuck a chip upside down on the board. Is that actually soldered to the board, or is it just, is it a chip? Is it a resistor array? Who knows what it is? and then it's plugged, so it must be plugged into where that would have been probably the original chip. It probably had a 6116 and they've upgraded it to 4 times as much. I'm not sure, but it looks like, I assume they pulled that chip out of this thing and then plugged a socket into the original socket, or header plug thing into the socket. Amphenol, all Japanese chips, and here with the old Ferranti chip, ULA 2C184. But yeah, I'm not quite sure why that chip's soldered. It was partly soldered to the pads of whatever chip, but it doesn't look like there's ever been a chip on the board, just like there hasn't been one there. So maybe that's just picking up power and ground or something. That's probably what it is. Although why has it got all these other pins connected? Don't know. They come over to here, to some other pads that don't look like they've really been used. Sinclair ZX81 USA on the board as well. A UM1082 modulator from the Philippines, Aztec International. So I think, did I just solder? I think I just soldered onto the input to the modulator, which you'd think would be a strong enough signal, but someone has put out a mod using a transistor and stuff, which probably gets I don't think it was a perfect video signal, but you think whatever goes in the modulator would be good enough. Did I pull a pin out of that? No, I think well, that's the other problem. I may have left the modulator still connected. I think that transistor in the unit runs it. 7805 regulator. Yeah, and someone's just soldered on the back of these keypad connectors, and that's the one that it just snapped off. It was folded right over and coming back over itself, I think, from memory, and when I levered it back up it just broke, whereas that one's actually quite fine. Must have just been the tight bit where they bent it. Of course, I didn't even think that it would be brittle, so I just sort of bent it back up. I probably should have heated it or something and done it slowly. But thankfully they've got replacements now, so we can just peel this old one off and maybe get this thing back to original. But it's a kind of interesting bit of homemade equipment there. They even got the Dick Smith square rubber feet that you can buy to stick on, or from somewhere like that. But now I know it's a ZX81, I think I'll just order a new keyboard and find out where, somewhere on the computer I've got the mod for the video, so I might hook that up as well. And we'll get this thing, it'd be nice to get rid of this other connection in a way, so I can actually just have it as a separate computer, but at least get photos of how they hooked it up, I guess, because some of those are probably getting close to breaking off now, with me fiddling around with it and whoever worked on it before. But at least, yeah, for under $30 delivered, that's a pretty good price for a keyboard for it. And these things I think are surprisingly popular as a retro computer. I guess anyone that owned one's probably got a bit of sentimental value for it. Anything 8-bit seems to be collectible now, so I might as well try and get it going. It's certainly a weird little novelty computer, not much bigger than a calculator really, but that was the idea. Sinclair was good at coming up with cheap things for the masses, and you can't really complain about that if you couldn't afford anything better. That would have been a good little computer to get, because computers were pretty big money back in the early 80s compared to what the average person earned, and you know what family people had as disposable income. Still plenty of people with the mother at home sort of thing, or at least when the kids were younger, so single income and all that sort of thing. So certainly an expensive piece of kit in their day. But yeah, I kind of like what they've done. They've got the little notch there. That's quite nice. Quite well cut out. Could do with a better sanding probably. And yeah, the keyboard was absolutely filthy. It had been stashed away somewhere for a long time, I think, in storage, and all this brown muck on it. Still quite disgusting, but I think that's about all I could really get off easily. Maybe if I scrubbed it and put a bigger solvent on there or something. Better solvent. Looks like maybe they had clear tape over the... Yeah, it's definitely Sinclair. It looks like it was written by a school kid. And then it's a small L, well, I guess it is capital, a small L. But what comes after that must be, unless Sinclair had a... No, he did had a small case A, or lowercase a. So the size of those letters is much bigger than those. And that doesn't even look like an A. Oh, is it a... It's not backwards, it's like they've done the A backwards there. A lowercase a backwards and large, like a 6. But they certainly put the effort into modifying this thing, which is kind of cool. Always good to see. Oh, you've got the arrow keys marked on there as well. So it must be these 5, 6, 7, 8. Ah, yeah. Oh well, that'll be an interesting one to look at, but I'll get a new keyboard and then we'll have a play and find out what that circuit is and have a play. And I might as well try and get this thing going. I think we'll abandon all this case. And I must look that up in the Dick Smith catalogue, but I think this case and the big keyboard probably want tossing. They're just dirty and old. There's a bit of quad wood in there and at the back, so it looks like someone who's pulled pulled the old masonite lining out of a house with the old quad in the corner and used a bit of that, or maybe a neighbour had some or something. I mean, they could have bought it new, of course, but the fact that it looks like it's got that green 50s kind of paint under there. I bet this was recycled of parts of an old house or something. And they've cut down those edge bits, a bit of Tasmanian oak or something, which is what those quad sections would be as well. And it might even be proper Bernie board Tasmanian masonite. If it's been assembled here, but they could have come from anywhere. It's weird they got an American version of it. Maybe you could get them cheaper in those days if you imported the American one or something. Who knows, maybe there was some magazine ad they saw or something, they could get it cheaper, so it might have just been cheaper to import. But what they were using as a television is the interesting thing, because there wouldn't have been many NTSC compatible televisions around in those days. So you'd think it more likely maybe they imported a television and the computer from America or something. Maybe someone moved over here, very hard to know. Okay, this new keypad has arrived, keyboard, whatever you call it. And looks like it'll fit in there fine. It's got the sticky back on it. Only problem I did notice with it is, for some reason, even though it's a replacement and I think it should be exactly the same as the original, they've changed delete to rub out. Sounds a bit American or something. And function / enter to new line. So if you had a book on what buttons to press to run one of these computers or something, you're learning to use it, you'll find that those two buttons are different. So enter's now new line and delete is rub out. Why anyone would change it, I don't know. It's not really a good idea. Maybe it's so that people know this is a non-original keypad, but they could have put something else to give that away if that was their idea. But I think the rest of the terms they've kept the same, which is good, because if you're doing programming or something, you'd want them the same. I can't spot any others that are different. So a bit dodgy, but you know, for $26 or whatever, I can't complain. But I think, you know, like I say, the people should keep them original. And this has got some sort of, what's this tape stuff here? I think someone's just put a bit of packing tape on there or something for some reason. So I guess we'll see if we can prise the old one up. Looks like you can just get under it. And I guess keep, of course it goes straight back into position when you let go. Just being a little bit careful because you are flexing the case, it's quite well stuck down. And this old case is probably brittle if the keyboard is. And that's that one for the rubbish. Just make sure this is going to fit, I guess. It's a little tight. Or is that just the actual tape on the back catching there? But oh no, that'll fit. Bulging up a little bit, but that could be partly the tape. It's not a perfect fit, I don't think, but it's pretty close. But yeah, the thickness of that tape probably isn't helping us, but it looks like it'll go in, so that's the main thing. I guess we just got to make sure we get it right. I might even give here a bit of dust and stuff in there. We'll give that a clean. What is going on there? That's just a lump. Oh, that's where the screws went. I wonder if someone put too long a screw in. We've got a bit of a lump there and a bit of a lump there. It certainly looks like someone put a screw in that was too long, so I'm not trying to get rid of that. I don't know if that can be pressed back in, or that one's only minor, but that one sticks up quite a bit. I'm going to have to get a knife and cut that off. Let's get rid of some of the worst of it. Slight bit there somewhere still, a bit of sandpaper may help. Yeah, that's pretty good. That is really not even, can't even really feel it. But yeah, it's a worry if someone's put something too long in there. Is that the actual stuff coming off, or it feels a bit like I'm peeling part of the keyboard off? That's probably going to be the problem. I guess it's going to be another layer on top of many others. Man, that does not want to come off. Surprisingly well stuck on. There we go. Yeah, that's definitely sticky. Obviously connector through first, and then I guess butt that up to one end carefully, making sure that goes on straight. I think we got it. Certainly looks a bit nicer than the old one, which has sort of gone a bit, maybe it was meant to be like that, but a bit grey sort of colour. That's much brighter white at least, which is nice, makes it a lot better contrast to see. Like, it really is surprising how much better that looks, and the characters really jump out at you, so that's one good advantage from it. Oh, that's sticky there. Well, we'll get it back into the computer and see if I can actually run the computer with that video socket I stuck on there. Just going to have to be careful with this in pieces that I don't rip the new one. Jeez, I really don't want to plug in very easily. So that's the problem, is they're not stiff enough, these new ones. That's gone in. They're just a little too flexy in a way. Yeah, they're quite hard to get in. I can't even tell if that is in. No, it's not. Yeah, the old ones are just as flimsy by the look of it. Yeah, maybe I'll take the small one back out, I think, and try and get the big one, grab it by both ends. Ah, there it goes. Yeah, it was a bit difficult to get in there. I think it sort of, yeah, just it finds a certain position, then it starts sliding. Okay. Now I'm going to find the power, 9 volts DC. Gotta get a power cord back on this thing. This is highly dodgy. Let's plug the TV in. And I've got to try and keep everything from shorting on everything. Put a plastic bag over that thing, I think, just to stop it so it can't possibly short on the board. Is that RAM module okay? I think it is. It's a little dodgy. I guess if it's been in there all that time, I might put that paper off the keyboard under there just to be safe. And see if we can get this thing to fire up. Well, it works on the LCD TV, no problem. We've got our little K thing. Unplot, WWW. Oh yeah, it is an unplot key. Why did it come up with unplot first? QQQ. And I think when we hit new line, oh, it didn't go to the top of the screen. I thought it went to the top or something. Oh, what's that doing? That's saying F. Doesn't actually enter. Shift function. Oh wow, this keyboard's doing some random stuff. I was oh, because I'm pressing on the other keyboard. That would be it. Okay, let's how do I clear all that? Oh, rub out. God, why do they call it rub out? Rub out key doesn't work. Damn it. So is it because I've got this stuff connected? This doesn't seem to do a lot. Oh, the L. Okay, L key's working. K, J, A, right, J and H are reversed. So I think these two keyboards are having some sort of a conflict. Line feed. I think one of those is enter, but it's not doing what I expect. But at least we've got some video up. Have a look at that in a second. Let's unfortunately have to unplug it again. Let's go back to the normal keyboard. Okay, according to the video I did before, the shift delete should, or shift 0 should be delete, which is what I thought. Ah, it's working now. Unbelievable. Because that's what it is on the other keyboard, or is that what the new one said though? Yeah, shift 0, rub out. Oh, well, that seems to work now. Maybe there was something weird going on. Oh, that's right, it does. And oh, is it shift 0? Gets rid of it, yeah, and then it should be shift inverted commas. That's what doesn't work. That's because it's not inverted commas on the other one. Where are they on this son of a... Plus minus, is that it there on Q? Shift 0 Q. Oh no, that does a double one. It does do a double one then, like it shows. Oh, there it is, shift P. Not an easy thing to use when you're not used to it. So shift P, yeah, inverted commas. That didn't work. These buttons, hit the wrong one, didn't I? Buttons are a bit dodgy. So this keyboard, I think, is definitely due for the bin. And it was shift P, was it? What was enter? That one. Got a little bit of jittering in the image now for some reason. O doesn't work half the time. You really got to bash these keys, I think. Go to 10. enter. And yeah, I did look up the little transistor mod for this thing, and it just shows it coming from is it a UART chip or something? But I'm basically got the same thing feeding into the modulator here anyway, so I might even, that just went snowy for a second, might even disconnect the modulator. The other thing I was thinking is you could actually probably leave the modulator connected, remove the circuit board from it, and just wire straight to that output RCA plug, which comes out the side of the computer, and just put your video out through that. Might even be another option, but it does have a little bit of background interference or some sort of lines, whether that's normal or not for these computers I'm not sure. So that's what the screen looks like, even though it's on a bit of an angle, but it's here black on white, and when we type stuff it comes up down the bottom. So just got to hit R for run and then enter. Not sure what the 5 out of 10, if that's what that even means, is. But it is pulsing a bit there. I'm not quite sure what's causing that at the moment. To escape. Is that a run? It must be run stop, that other one, or something. I forget what button he used to. I think, did the Commodore have a run stop or something button? I can't remember now. But the other blank one on the keyboard next to the what they've used as an enter key is the one. But yeah, a bit jittery, not the brightest. Let's see if we can get some better. Oh, brightness only at 50%. And how do we use this bloody thing? That's probably more what it's meant to look like. There is a bit of rubbishy lines in the background there. Yeah, I've only got 50% contrast, probably doesn't help with this sort of image. Now that could be this LCD's not happy as well, it's jittering a bit. But that's the kind of thing you get out of these things. I think the video levels are okay there. But of course it is NTSC at the moment. I think the other thing we can do on this is, can we change... This was a bit funny with the PlayStation as well. Video format, how do I get to that? There, anything but that. Auto, NTSC. Oh, interesting. Well, that's gone a bit weird. At least it stopped bouncing around. But we've got this weird KKK thing here, which is very American, I guess. And lines everywhere, and the brightness and video levels gone all bad. What happens if we go to power? Oh, at least it stopped jittering around. The video level's not the best now. So it is the auto mode on this TV, I think, is part of the problem. Interesting, it works better in power. How do we go back? How do I escape this? So I'll press menu again, I guess. Video. Oh, it's gone back down in. Oh, so when I've changed it, it's. Of course, it's changed all the settings, but at least that stopped it bouncing around. So it's just this TV, I think. So we can go for 100% contrast. More brightness to make the white a bit wider. Yeah, I've got to type run again, haven't I? Yeah, at least that's not jittering, so something that was the TV. I thought it might be. It's a bit funny, this dodgy Dick Smith one. Maybe it's actually got a problem with it, who knows. But yeah, that's other than that, it's looking quite good, but yeah, there is some sort of almost like interference or something there, or ringing, or the sort of image, multiple images or something. Very hard to tell what that is. I could try disconnecting that modulator and see if that improves things. But at least that's going with the old keypad. I think this old keypad's had its day. It might be time to put this thing back to normal. So I might unsolder this, I think. Unsolder the old keyboard, put the new one in, see if I can get that to work. What's this other thing? A reset switch. I might get rid of that. Well, that can go as well. And maybe see about pulling this modulator off the board. Not sure if that's factory. It probably isn't. So it's made to space it off the bottom or something. Maybe it is. Or someone's put insulation tape under it. So yeah, I think I'll take my messy socket off there. That's coming off the middle pin of that transistor, which I assume also goes into one of the inputs, and of course ground. Yeah, it's the big pad here is just the ground pad. The other one's the middle pin of the transistor, which looks like it comes back through some other circuitry. So normally with these modulators, they're just a little circuit board in there. Hardly anything in there at all. In fact, the middle pin of that goes... Someone's already modified this. Oh, I wonder if that's what already has happened. I know I couldn't get much of a signal out of it. Has someone already... that would explain how they got at least video out of it. I'm not sure what they would have used for NTSC, but that might explain... Is that pin there? It doesn't seem to be soldered to anything. There's a track that goes past it, I think. Ah, so someone's beaten me too. Yeah, and they got a... What was it? 82 ohm resistor there. Ha! Unless I did that, but I don't think I did. I think someone else has done that. I don't think I ever looked inside the modulator. I just tried to tune it in. Not much point trying to tune it in if it's like that. Oh, well, let's hook the TV up again before I do anything. Ah, so someone's way ahead of me here. Now 9 volt was the front one, I think. Don't want to plug it into the audio. Well, there's a nice white screen there, but no text on it. Interesting. Yeah, so it is trying to do something, I think. That's like it, some sort of video signal there. The TV seemingly syncs to it. That's got, yeah, it's got the... Oh, stop. Oh, you gonna work or not? The Y key's completely stuffed. Of course, that's the one I'm pressing. So that gives me a... Oh, I think I just broke my connection off. I went very close. Yeah, the other RF output, just a white screen. Or is that because I've turned it up too bright now? Who knows? Ah, yes. Oh, much higher. God, it's a super high contrast. Well, that's because I've got the contrast set up. Ha! I don't think I ever thought to try that. Yeah, when you turn the contrast down, you can see those lines. So it's certainly a better looking image in many ways. So our old buddy has been in here, whoever messed around with it. Get rid of the menu. I've got to type my program back in, don't I? Is that run, stop, clear, something 2 of 0. Oh, I don't want go to, do I? What am I talking about? Print. Shift 9, I think it was? No. What bloody key was it? Shift P. I need to put a space there. Go to 10. Bit of a roll there each time we do it, but that might be normal. Run. Yeah, it's definitely a nicer picture. Seems to be a bit more stable. Still a little bit of background stuff there, but that's looking a lot better. More what you'd expect the signal to look like. If I pull it out of that one, if we're still connected, I think we are. Oh, is it just so dark? It's probably just so dark. Can't see it at all. Because I know I had trouble getting this thing running the first time I tried it. So someone's modded it to bypass RF modulator. Well, that's a relief. That saves me having to do it. Yeah, that's definitely a better signal. So I think it's time to liberate it from this case. I'm going to have to keep that power supply probably, I don't know if I think they're about 9 volts. I did find a picture online, 9 volts at 1.2 amp or something. I may have another power pack, but not many 9 volt ones are that powerful. Plenty like 300 and 600 milliamps, but never, don't remember seeing a 9 volt 1 amp. I'm sure you could get them. May still be able to get them. Maybe JCar or someone still has them in stock, so we'll get rid of that socket. The modulator's modded, and like I said, I don't know whether it's going to a pin. Oh, is it on the end of that resistor? Oh, it is, I think. It's on the end of this. What's that? 390 ohm resistor there. Next to these two inductors is a little diode, is the next thing. And the pin goes up, and I can't quite see where. Or the track on the board goes up this way, somewhere under this resistor. Not sure if it's under that cap, but it's nearby to this middle socket. So that's, is the diode joined to the same thing? It's not. So it's a track that goes under that diode. There's another large track, might be earth or something, that the 390 ohm resistor goes to, if that 390 ohm's even original. But someone's modded this. Doesn't look like they've added any transistors or anything. They've just, who knows, hooked into maybe that is that pin on that IC. Oh, ULA it might have been, not UART. It's probably what comes out of one of the pins of this chip down there, and so it doesn't look like you need a transistor. So that may improve the signal. Let's get this keyboard unsoldered, because I don't think, I'll just make a note before I do. So the 5-way ribbon cable starts with blue on the left, red on the right. So blue, yellow, orange, brown, red. In other words, just what the cable order is. And the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think it's an 8-way. Yeah, I can see 4 and 4. Starts with a grey on the left, purple, green, blue, yellow, orange, brown, and red on the right. So if we get rid of that, we should be right to get this thing running on its proper keypad. The other thing I need to make a note of, I guess, is this other wire which goes to what I assume is a reset button. I didn't actually try it. I guess I should have tried it. But it goes to the end of this 220k resistor, R15. Soldered on the end of that, and the black wire goes to that big earth strap. So it's pretty easy. I think, you know, they did make expansion memory cards or something for these. I think I saw someone saying what a pain they were, because you'd be spend hours putting a program in, and then you'd bump them and the thing would disconnect or something and reset, and you'd lose everything. So R15, so I'll get rid of that. I might as well unsolder these and do it properly. Probably could just cut them off. Oh, I've got to get rid of this socket that I put on here, because I actually hooked the modulator up to a TV and tried to tune it in. No wonder I didn't get anything. Not much good trying to get RF out of something that's been modded to be composite video. There's something bad solder joint there on that socket. Guess that probably, it's only a mechanical mount I think, but I'll do it anyway. I probably could do with resoldering by now. The other thing I just noticed, it's actually got copyright 1980 on the original keypad. Guess that's another way to know if they're original or not. And hopefully now we can put this into the original case. So go that way, it does. I think half these screws, yeah, go right through. If if not all of them. I think they're held by the rest of the case. I think this thing just sat there. Fingers crossed it doesn't short out at all. And now I've got to get these little fiddly connectors back in that didn't want to go the first time. Maybe they'll go easier now. Ah, it did. That one went straight in almost. Must have got the feel of it. And I guess these connectors haven't had anything plugged in them for quite a while. Maybe that's why the little one went in easier, because I'd already plugged it in once. I think that's an earthing band for to press on the top of the case. Now what issues have we got going on? The keyboard's got to press down onto, that's probably what was so bent before. This memory expansion thing, or can I push it back the other way? Is that what I need to, maybe, doesn't want to. It really doesn't want to. I'll have to push it the other way, I think, for now, which may void your warranty. I'm not sure. If the keypad wants to go one way, it's probably a good reason for it. What was this little slot? Oh, that was the slot they cut in, so it's actually got a slot cut in the case. That board doesn't seem to be sitting right because the expansion module isn't where it should be. Oh no, she's moved. That's better. So the case has been slightly butchered, and now I might try and put a couple of screws in, which should be in this bag somewhere. I think it was these long thin black screws. Let's see if we can get everything lined up. It's certainly substantially smaller without all the added bits. So we should be able to plug into the RF modulator, power back in, turn it on. Oh yeah, there's a little K's come up on the screen. Oh, it puts the space in automatically. 10 print, was it shift P? Well, they're right about these keyboards being horrible. Imagine trying to put a whole lot of stuff in on that. New line, I really don't like that they've changed that to new line, because everyone knows it is enter. But I guess you get used to it. Oh, well, oh, that's the gonna say, this doesn't have a space bar, does it? I don't need to put a space in anyway, as I found out. So that's brilliant. So that's probably why they left the space bar off, because if you just go to the letter and let it put the word in, I don't know what would happen with this when you're trying to program other things. Maybe you hold the key longer. New line. See, again, I can't see it. I'm not used to it at the best of times. R for run. There's our little program running again. Just the old 10 print, 20 go to 10. Easiest way to just test the computer quickly. Edit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, there's no tactile response on these things at all. Yeah, these would have been absolutely horrible to use. But if you're a kid with nothing else, so it would have been cool to have them, sure. But yeah, I wouldn't want to take them seriously. I can imagine the tediousness of actually trying to use these things, but I guess it's still better than not having one to use at all. Load list, and it doesn't do it after the first. So there's a way of getting it to do the word after the first word. I guess every command was so long since I've done basic. Was everything a command? It probably was. Rand input, it probably was some command or other. Poke, print. What are you doing? Oh, I'm pressing the wrong key. You got no idea if you're even pressing a key. That's the part of the problem. Let. How do I get an arcs in? It does new, then it does an A. Yeah. Shift will get stopped, so there must be something. So an arc sine, arc cosine, arc tangent, ABS square, that does go sub. Dim dimension maybe. Not sure, but anyway, it's good to get that little thing back together. Like I said, it's got about what looks like an SD card slot or something cut into it. Uh-oh. And the image just went stupid and died. Uh-oh. I've killed it. Oh, that's great. It just crashed. I think it was that because of the power plug. Oh yes, the power plug. Oh god. It goes to like a VCR test pattern. Or is it the actual socket? One of the pieces is dicky. And that little K comes up. Unplot www, and we press that and it crashes. It hasn't even come back on, so it probably doesn't get a proper reset, and it goes absolutely troppo. Turn it off for a bit longer, that probably resets it properly. Little K comes up, touch that power plug, that's probably off at that point. If you reset it long enough maybe, but if you fiddle with it, and of course it'll make a liar of me now. It just goes silly. So that's going to need fixing by the look of it. Oh, something's sticking to something there, or was. So where's our power? How are these actually connected even? That's the front one, isn't it? They're pretty shonky looking sockets really, probably not the best condition. So yeah, it's just those main tabs. Guess we can resolder them just to make sure. I doubt that's the issue though. But I wouldn't be surprised if the old contacts are tarnished in and they're these sort of open. Well, pretty much most 3.5mm sockets are a bit open in those days. So that moves around in the barrel. The little plastic bit's quite loose. You can see these lift up. There is a kind of switch there. Don't know if I can get something in there and try and clean those. Probably not easily. Maybe give it a bit of a scrape with a screwdriver. This looks like a standard 3.5mm plug. They didn't really connect it the best in the sense that one leads longer than the other. You've always got to cut one shorter when you attach those things, but I guess it was out of mind, out of sight. No one really cared. Probably should be doing this on a static mat. I think that thing's anti-static enough. Best to be safe with computers. Comes up with a little K. Ah, it's rock steady now. Well, until I actually pull it out, but that upset it. At least it's not just doing it when I rotate it now. Well, that's good to know. It's starting to go a bit. I think that was long enough that it reset. It pulls out very easy. That's part of the problem, I think. Another problem could be that those actual contacts need retensioning a bit. What really holds, because it's got the little, yeah, I don't know, it doesn't really lock in there though, does it? I certainly could probably put a little bit of extra tension, just being very careful not to overdo it. Yeah, that feels a little better. Well, that seems to be reliable now, unless I actually pull it back out. That time it just reset. Yeah, that's, oh, maybe that's what is actually causing it. Is it when you rotate it, it comes out. If you rotate it while holding it in, no problem. But as soon as you see it's starting to come loose, there's a gap there, that's when it dies. I can get it out that far, no problem. Go a bit further and it. So it's probably disconnecting and connecting very quickly. I mean, this needs a whole new power pack anyway, I think, so it doesn't look like it's the computer that's faulty. You just wanted me to pull it apart one more time, I guess. But it doesn't have to re-tension those and give them a quick scratch with the screwdriver. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mounts under there. I suspect a couple of those had short screws in them. And I think there were short screws down the front as well. What's this screw? That's some old wood screw that's in there. That isn't meant to be there. And I'm not sure it's going to come out, so I probably need to try and find a replacement screw that's better than that one. Yeah, got rid of that. So we've got that one, and that one. I think that one and that one are meant to hold the board in place. Is it that RAM module or what's, something's in the way? Yeah, I think it's that RAM module is a little tight in here. So we should be able to hold the board in place without overdoing it, since I don't know what that RAM module is going to do. Where's the mount for that one gone? Oh, there somewhere. That is how it holds in the case, I think. That board's got a massive twist in it, so something's... It's just that corner is lifted. It's that bloody RAM module. That must, I wonder if that's meant to slide across further. I can't remember exactly how they had it when I originally got this thing. Sometimes it's a bit easier to turf the damn thing. I think, yeah, it's sitting on the circuit board's sitting on this header thing, so it must have been further across, I reckon. I don't think you got much choice. Oh, it's got like wire wrap guide things everywhere. Can I get that to stay further across? I really don't like that circuit board floating around in there like that, but I guess it must have worked. That's as far over as I can get it, I think, and it's nowhere near far enough over. So maybe that's another reason they put it in a different box. I think we're just going to have to put one screw in place, that one there. I reckon that's what it was like when I got it. It had one screw there. If you try and push that front down, it's too much. It's going to twist the board. Which would have been nice to have something in there to make it easier to put the back on. But how, well, if we put the back on, that's going to squeeze everything together anyway, possibly. Let's give it a go. Don't think having the main board under tension would be a good idea. There's a little bit of kickback, but not too much. Although the front is sticking right out now. That's not going in. Yeah, it doesn't feel the best. It's starting to bite. I think we have to go easy on the screws, so it's not real well put together. And I'll put a small one up the front. And really need to find another. So have they chewed that hole out? No, I think it's alright, thank God. Try and find another small one. A little modern electronic screw there might just do the job. Thread's about the same. Beautiful. Bit of an odd size, but it was perfect for this thing. I'll chuck that other one in the rubbish. And yeah, that isn't fully back together. I think I'll leave it something like that for now. Just check it one more time, it actually works. Come on, Dick Smith. Yeah. So yeah, a couple of modifications. That would have been one of the long screws could have gone in the front, and that would have put that bulge under the keypad. But this memory module doesn't really fit. They've probably gone a bit overboard with that. It's those spacer things that the wiring between the RAM chips is wrapped around, and it's just a little bit too thick. We do have a slight dip near the keyboard there where it goes in. Probably always had a bit like that, or is it just the other bits rising up? No, it's as high as it goes. But it's back together and working, so that's the main thing. I think I'll get rid of the rest of the old case and old keyboard and stuff. I couldn't find it in the Dick Smith catalogue, the same keyboard, but they did have one that would do the same job. So that one may have come out of some other bit of computer gear. There's no idea whether they built this unit into that bigger box, you know, around the time they bought it, or it could have been much later when second-hand old computer terminal keyboards and stuff were a bit more available. They certainly weren't cheap if you bought one from Dick Smith or somewhere. But that should do the job with that one, so thanks for watching.